See if this is actually working. We are live from Sambo Creeck Automation's booth. Okay, so here we go. Okay, we're going to introduce some new equipment. Those of you who have been watching, we've had the Mescalatory by Sambo Creeck. There is a demo going on at Taproot. Is it weird? We're just hey guys, we're just doing this, all right? We're just doing it. Single take only. That's what people appreciate about this feed. There's no faking. We're doing a demo at Taproot actually today and tomorrow. And you can see flour get washed and the process at Taproot. So tap in if you're trying to, go see a demo. We are going to talk to Charles about this static separator. So we're doing the world premiere on the floor, and the guys are kind of standing in front of the other side of it. But we're doing the world premiere on the floor right now. This is the static separator. For everyone who hasn't been, can I scoot you just a little? For everyone who has not been able to, can I put you on? No. Everyone can hear me, but they can't hear Charles. This is Charles, owner of Sambo Creeck Filtration. We want to talk about the static separator. Tell us about it, Charles. World premiere. You have kept this baby under wraps. No one has been able to see it, okay? Then we have the lovely Monica.
Yeah. So
okay, tell us about it.
3 years of R&D, so it's a lot of work, and we just wanted to make sure to pick a venue to make like a big splash. So I think MJ Biz is a great place to do that because the best of the best are here.
How long have you been working on this?
Like 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, from the original time that I first spoke to Justin who introduced me to the actual static shift. It's 3 years. It's been 3 years.
We're going to talk to Justin too. Justin's low-key alchemy, right? Are you in Vermont?
Yep.
Vermont, but you can't hear him, so we're going to talk to Charles first, okay? But that's Justin. Okay, so tell us about the separator. What does it do? Why does it do it? All of it.
Right on. So the acidic particles in the trichomes can charge, and so you're exploiting that fact to electrostatically charge a particle,
okay, and
then use that to separate it. And heads charge a certain way, and everything else charges differently. And so because opposites, it's the polarity of it.
Okay.
Yeah, and so you basically feed the device into a pipe, and so this pipe here generates static electricity by friction.
Oh, down there or no?
It feeds to here.
So how does it? Oh, yeah. Thanks. Sorry.
So you feed the device with a volumetric feeder because it's got to be a very consistent, specific ratio. And then it falls in through the tube, and so the tube is a specific polymer that we make for this, and so that polymer, as the trichomes rub onto it, it charges electrically, and that process is called tribocharging. So once the particle is tribocharged, then we have two power supplies that generate thousands and thousands of volts onto these metal plates. And so the metal plates have opposite charges, and so as the particles fall through the chamber, some come to one side and some come to the other. So round heads that contain acidic cannabinoids will accumulate on one plate, and everything else falls to the other side. And it's very odd because you have needle-like trichomes, sessile trichomes, cecile trichomes, and even though they do contain cannabinoids, they fall to the wayside. And that's because the percentage of mass that you have with the other trichomes, like the shell, if you will, and the fats and whatever else makes up that trichome, is far greater than the battery that you have inside those cannabinoids. And so that's actually a great thing because we all know that the juiciest, tastiest trichomes are the round ones.
Yep.
Similarly, stalks contain cannabinoids, but they charge differently. And everything else, you can remove pistils, you can remove plant particles, dirt, minerals, everything except round bulbous trichomes collect on one side and everything else on the other side. So it just creates
by the charges,
just by the electric charge of the particle. But then so you charge this little magnet inside the trichome head, and then you put a strong electromagnet on the opposite side to get it to attract
it. Draws it. So it's like plucking grapes off
Just
of
that-
like a...
We do it at such high voltages that the attraction for both particles is not just heads. Heads are pulled one way very strongly,
Sure.
but everything else is also pulled in the opposite direction with equal strength. So the separation is perfect. It is
my
perfect.
gosh.
And there's no chemicals
Unreal.
used. The electricity that's used, it's kind of like a taser. So with a taser, unless there's
If
a...
you touch this, are you going to get tased?
No, because you have to be grounded to be shocked. So because the
Okay.
particle isn't grounded when it touches the plate, you've seen how birds step on a high voltage power line and they don't die?
Yeah, because they're not
Millions
touching
of
the
volts are
ground.
going through
Yeah.
them. But the bird doesn't die, the bird doesn't get cooked. So it's exactly the same thing. So the trichomes fall onto the plate, that's thousands of volts, but absolutely nothing happens to it because it's not grounded. And that's the magic of it. And there's no water, there's no chemicals, no nitrogen, no carbon dioxide, nothing, just
Guys, the
air.
comments are perfect ash question mark. Okay. Come on.
They want it.
Right on.
This is amazing.
Oh, maybe there's like some
There's
questions.
a lot of
Yes,
comments.
anybody else? Oh, okay. Oh,
People
I
want to see
love
it in
it.
action,
It's
Charles.
working.
We're not allowed. They can tune
live
into
is
YouTube
working.
and Instagram,
Okay,
but
wait.
we're
Can
not
we
allowed.
just- oh, hold on. If HashFight could afford to hire Charles to do all of our videos, I need your amazing.
We're here
That's
online, Charles. Can't say no.
Best content on YouTube. Hands down, best content on YouTube.
Guys, that's SC Filtration all day.
Charles kills it. Okay, so tell me, I see some like high voltage and stuff like that. Can you tell me a little bit about if anything would be dangerous to touch on this? Do you want to
Yeah, absolutely.
tell me a little bit about it? You can go. Okay.
So this is an R&D device. This is not
Okay.
exactly what we're selling, but so if you notice, the plates are connected to a high voltage cable, but they're isolated. So this is an insulator right here. So there is no direct contact between the steel and the high voltage cable with anything else. So unless you stick your hand in here on purpose and touch the plate,
Oh,
you won't
okay.
get shocked.
Okay.
And if you do get shocked, it's like getting tased. It's high voltage, but it's low amperage. So it's like getting tased. You're not gonna.
So it hurts.
It hurts. It hurts for sure.
One question.
wait.
Justin can attest to that because he was shocked a whole
And
bunch of
we
times.
won't
He was
be
my
able
guinea
to hear
pig.
you, unfortunately. Oh, wait, hold on.
One question is they're asking is,
One question someone's asking, Hunter the Hash Man. Does this only work with dry material?
No.
no, it doesn't.
No, sir.
No, it works with frozen.
Even with bubble hash. So like once it's out of the freeze dryer, if the particle itself is like powdery, you can separate it. So like it'll remediate, it'll separate bubble hash. But if it's fresh frozen, you just have to maintain it cold at whatever process temperature the hash doesn't grease up on you. You process it at that temperature. So it'll work with everything. Now there's some hash that is extremely greasy that you may have to process it so cold that it's the only way to do it without it greasing up. In that regard,
Can this handle like liquid nitrogen, like that cold temperatures?
no. Why? Because electrons have to vibrate, right? And the colder they are, the less they vibrate. So you come to a point where it's so cold that the particle will not build an electrical charge. We're not there yet. So we process material at minus 20 Celsius, and they charge just fine. We haven't tried it below minus 20. That's like the next test, right?
Apis Labs asks,
How is this unit different than the equipment Shadow Girl Jacqueline made a few years ago?
Right. So the vapor static is an extraction device. This doesn't extract anything. This is a separation device. There's no chemicals. We're just taking a particle and plucking it from a mixture.
Just like grapes.
hash form, not in liquid.
Yeah. You're keeping intact trichomes in their shell. You're not extracting anything. This is not an extraction machine. So it's very
So
different.
it's not in liquid form. It's just separating trichomes and from stems.
You're not
Everything
melting
stalks.
anything. You're not extracting anything.
It comes out looking like full melt, right?
Yes,
Because
yes.
essentially it is
It
full
is
melt.
full melt.
Can
Yeah.
it work in a cold environment?
Yeah. So
Up to what temperature?
the coldest we've tried it so far is
Okay,
minus
wait a
20
minute. They
Celsius.
asked, can it work in a cold environment?
Yeah, so the coldest we've had it so far is minus 20 Celsius. How cold we can go, we don't know, but I'm sure as people... Hey, Boris, Busy Bee is here. Boris, say hi.
What's up?
So yeah, anyways, minus 20 C right now, but we're gonna do more testing and see, pushing that envelope, minus 30, minus 40. I don't know what that threshold is, but we will find out. And maybe some of the users, as they get these machines and they tinker with them, they'll find, you know, the limits to it. How hot or how cold can you process? So we'll find out.
How much power does it use?
How much power does it use?
And it'll go from 90 volts to 220 volts. So you don't need any kind of phase converter. It'll work in the US and in Europe and in Asia without any kind
like
of
a receptacle, like a
outlet.
kind of,
You just
like
change.
a dryer one.
No,
It's
a normal outlet.
a regular plug.
And it'll work.
2-prong or 3-prong?
It's kind of like your phone charger, where it will work in Europe where it's 220, but it'll work in the US where it's 110. Just the same thing.
All right.
Heard it here first, folks.
Okay, so wait a minute.
Yeah.
We're discussing, we're throwing around some ideas of maybe trying to bring this to Spanavis for a demo.
Any leads to take us to Spanavis? We need a booth.
We need a booth, okay, people? We are asking for a booth to put this bad boy in at Spanavis. Spanavis, if you're listening, this is the future. Okay? If you're listening, it's right here. And then these aren't going to necessarily be available for sale openly.
Yeah, so any kind of commercial discussion, give us a call and we'll talk.
Okay.
Yeah. We like to engage your customers and talk to
we want to know
needs.
what they want so we can figure out what to give them.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to see this in NorCal? Because I feel like you do, and we might have a lab already for it. I feel like we got a lab today for it in NorCal, as a matter of fact. I haven't even gotten to tell Charles that yet, but it's fine. Thank you, NorCal friends. But if you want to see it somewhere else where there's a lot of people, maybe Michigan, maybe
Vermont,
Canada.
Canada, we have a special guest in Canada.
All right. Okay. Yes.
So stay tuned for that. We're gonna make a big announcement, hopefully.
Max output. How much throughput does this
You
and
can
output?
scale this as far as size, as big as you want. So we're making a system that can process 2 tons per hour for a large hemp manufacturer. So this one here is about 2 kilos per hour, but it scales as big as you want it. We can take it up to 2. Like I said, we're making one for 2 tons an hour.
Everyone wants to see a demo, so we'll have to do it.
Yeah,
We're going to be doing demos.
demo.
It's better if you come down and see the machine yourself and watching a video. So we're going to be hosting videos throughout the country, and Jane's going to be hosting them.
Yes.
So stay tuned. Watch Jane for it.
Thank you. Thanks so much. All right, we'll be back with Justin, actually.
We have a YouTube channel. Sign up to Triboelectric Tuesdays, and you can learn everything about this thing. Follow the development from the beginning, how we did it, why we did it. Triboelectric Tuesdays on YouTube.
Literally, and he makes all of his own videos, and he's amazing. He's the most hyped content creator. HashFight says he's #1. So
Appreciate
I'm just saying. Okay, thank you, Charles.
Thanks, Charles.
Cheers.